Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of biology. And of course, today we're going to be looking at humans and environment. Okay, we're going to be looking at microbiology and diseases. Do not forget that these tutorials or these episodes are brought to you by the O3 Schools app. If you have made a decision never to write JAMB twice, or you have been writing JAMB before and you do not want to ever write again, if you want this to be your final bus stop as related to any O-level exam, JAMB or WAEC, NECO, GCE, please choose O3 Schools. Okay, download the application, practice with this, follow our videos, and of course, you'll see how good the Lord is. All right, so let us see a past question using a question search feature on the application of the JAMB app. Let us see a question relating to this from the past questions. This is a biology year 2023 question number 28. Okay, it says that which of the following statements is true regarding diseases? Which of the following statements is true regarding diseases? It says that diseases are caused only by bacterial infections. B says diseases are caused by a disruption in the normal functioning of the body. C says diseases are always inherited from parents. D says diseases can be cured by a single treatment method. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this question and many more at the end of the class and not before, because at O3 Schools, we pride ourselves in giving you value first. Okay, we believe that once you have taught you properly, then answering questions will not be a problem for you, right? That's why we advise you strongly to stick with us, download the O3 Schools application immediately and start preparing for your exam. The app has everything you need to succeed in your exam. All the past questions for all the subjects are on the app, so you don't need to go and buy past questions outside. Likewise, there's a question search feature, just like the way we search for this question. Just go into question search on the app, click on biology as a subject, search for humans and environment, and any question that JAMB has said that relate to human and environment from the year JAMB started till now, all of them will come out. So it makes you to get confident. Okay, immediately you read a particular topic, you answer a lot of questions on them. You become more vast in that particular topic. And likewise, there's a classroom feature. The classroom has the most recent JAMB syllabus. It has lecture notes that are structured according to that syllabus. So you don't have any need to go and buy textbook. All right, some of you message me and say, sir, please, which textbook do you recommend for us to use to study? If you have the app, you have no need for textbook. All right, and likewise, still on that classroom, you can create a study plan. All right, what the study plan does is to crash all the subjects you want to study. All right, it will create a timetable for using the syllabus and the notes on the app, and then it will make you to easily finish your syllabus in time. All right, so many of you make the mistakes of preparing for your exam without finishing the syllabus. It's a big problem. It's a big mistake. All right, so the classroom solves all of that problem for you. Also, there's a mock challenge for the JAMB app and the WAEC app. Also, every Saturday, students who are preparing for these exams come to the app to compete with each other to win a lot of prizes. But the reason why we conduct that mock challenge is not because of the prizes. It's for you to get used to JAMB past questions or JAMB WAEC past questions, JAMB likely past question or WAEC likely past questions, and then also familiarize yourself with how JAMB and WAEC set their questions. It will make you to put you in place of the examiner to see how the examiner is thinking, what angle he's thinking from, and how he may want to confuse you. All of these are on the application for just a small activation fee. So please, download the app, activate it to get full benefits. The app is available for your Android phones, for your iPhones, okay, for your computer system. You can message this phone number on WhatsApp for you to get the activation for the application, or click on activate after downloading. Then you'll see at the top where they wrote buy activation key. Click on buy activation key. You see by transfer, you see the account number, you see the correct amount for activation on the app there. All right, so get it activated, make your payment. You have nothing to be scared of. Okay, if you want to pay, once you make your payment, just send the receipt to this number on WhatsApp. That's all. All right, you'll be good to go. So now let's look at what humans and environment, because humans constantly interact with the environment. All right, there are a lot of things that we see in the environment. Okay, now we're going to look at microbiology and disease. Microbiology and diseases. Okay, now it is important to know that microorganisms They are known as what? Microbes. We call microorganisms. Microorganisms, we call them as what? As germs, or we call them as what? As microbes. All right. So that is what we call microorganisms. All right. In microbiology, we call microorganisms as germs or as microbes. And the study of what? Microbes or these germs is what we call what? Microbiology here. Okay. The study of what? Of microbes, of the germs, or the study of microorganisms in general is what is known as what? As microbiology. Okay. And we have what? Examples of what? Of micro organisms. All right. Examples are we have what? Viruses. Viruses, we have bacteria, we have fungi, then we have a protozoan. Okay, so these are what? Examples of what? Of microbes, okay, or organisms. That's what we have. We have viruses, we have bacteria, we have fungi, we have what? Protozoan. And of course, the smallest among all of them there, okay, is the virus. The virus is the smallest, it's the simplest and the smallest. And they do not have, these viruses, they do not have a cell structure. They no get cell structure. They do not have what? A cell what? Structure. All right. So they are the smallest, okay, and what? The simplest microorganisms, viruses. Now let's talk about culture. Culture is a way of life of a people. Okay. No. So when it comes to microbiology, we have something we call what? Culture. All right. Culture is the process of growing microorganisms. Okay, it's the process of growing microorganisms in the laboratory. So that is what we call what? Culture. Okay, growing microorganisms in the laboratory is known as culture. Okay, so culture is not the total way of life of a group of people, of a particular people, as we're taught in social studies in primary school. Okay, so when it comes to microbiology, we say culture is what? Is how what we grow microorganisms in the laboratory. Okay, and it is very important to know that viruses, which are the smallest, okay, viruses can only grow and multiply inside living cells. Viruses, okay, they can only what? Grow, can only grow and multiply, okay, inside living cells. Okay, so you cannot what? Grow viruses. You cannot grow viruses what? In a culture. So among the type of what? Microorganisms that we listed, okay, viruses is the only one that cannot what? Grow what? In a culture what? Medium. All right, so viruses can only grow and multiply inside what? Living cells. Okay, that is only where what? That viruses can what? Can grow and multiply. Please take note. All right, so they cannot grow viruses in a what? In a culture medium. Also, culture medium consists of this culture medium I'm talking about. Culture medium I'm talking about includes agar, AGAR. Agar is a gel-like or substance. Okay, however, what? AGAR or agar is one. They also have what? Nutrients. Usually in the form of either beef extract or yeast extract, as well as vegetable juice. Okay, so all of these, they are what? They are culture what? Mediums. All right, so we have what? Agar, we have what? Nutrients, usually in the form of beef extract, yeast extract, and what? And vegetable juice. Now, the enzymes that are produced by what? By microorganisms, okay, do not what? Affect what? The agar. Okay, so the microorganisms, they secrete what? Some enzymes, but it does not affect what? The agar. That is why what? This agar is what? A very, very good what? Culture what? Medium. Please take note of what? Of that. Also, different types of culture media is suitable for different types of microorganisms. Okay, so the media that's what? Good for what? A particular microorganism may not be what? Good, okay, for what? For the other one. All right, so different types of what? Culture media, okay, is suitable for different types of microorganisms. For example, fungi. Fungi, okay? Fungi what does well what in a culture what medium that is acidic, okay? That is acidic. So it does very well in a culture medium that is acidic. Also note that diseases causing microorganisms, they are very difficult to culture. The one diseases causing what microorganisms, they are difficult to culture. So although we make use of what this culture media called agar, but instead of what, because the diseases, they are very difficult to culture, we do not just use what agar, we enrich it, okay? So we enrich what the medium called agar by adding blood. We add blood to the agar to now form what is called what blood agar. So for diseases, all right, we use what a more enriched medium called what blood what agar. All right, so blood agar is formed by what, by adding blood, okay, to the agar. All right, to now form what blood agar. Now also microorganisms in a culture medium, know that microorganisms in a culture medium, they grow and multiply, okay? And when they grow and multiply, they form what we call colonies, all right? Please take note of that. Microorganisms in the culture medium, they grow and multiply. And when they grow and multiply, they form what we call what? Colonies. Now, in the process of culturing microorganisms, in the process of culturing them from what? From a sample, okay, they are usually what? Protected, okay, from what? From what we call what? Contaminants. All right, they are usually what? Protected from what? From contaminant, from what? From the environment, okay? Such as, you are culturing what? This sample what? In the laboratory, okay? So definitely there are so many things that you have to, that it may come in contact with, all right? Like what? Like the glasses, like the glassware that you use in the laboratory, like your clothes, okay, your hands, okay, and so many other things. So all of these can contaminate what? The sample. All right. So that's why I said that in the process of culturing microorganisms from a sample, they have to be protected, well protected from what? From contaminants. This process is what we call aseptic techniques. We call it aseptic techniques. All right. We call this process what? Aseptic what? Techniques. The method involves what? Sterilizing all what? Glasswares. Sterilizing all glasswares, okay? By sterilizing what? All the culture media, including what? All the glassware that will come in contact with what? With the specimen, all right? In the process that we call what? Autoclaving. Autoclaving means what? You are kind of heating what? Or using steam, okay, to sterilize what? Those what? Equipment, okay? All right, so use what? Steam under pressure. Use steam under pressure, okay? Use what? Steam under what? Pressure to sterilize what? The equipment, thereby killing microorganisms and what? And pores, okay, that may be present, okay? So that is what we do whenever we want to do what? Culture media, okay? So we need to first of all what? Autoclave, all right? We use what? Steam under pressure to sterilize, okay? We sterilize what? The equipment, so that I can kill what? Other microorganisms and what? And pores, okay, that may contaminate what? Our culture medium. It also involves flaming all equipment, called flaming all equipment that are used to carry the specimen, okay? All equipment that are used for carrying the specimen has to be flamed, okay? You call what? Flaming. Use heat, okay? To heat it round. All right. So all equipment that are used to carry the microorganism have to be flamed. Okay, we call it what? Flaming. And also involves keeping all equipment covered. Okay, when you are not using those equipment, you keep them covered. Okay, so it involves keeping equipment, also keeping all equipment covered when not in use. So when you are not using this equipment, you have to keep all the equipment covered. Now, how are microorganisms identified? Okay, how do we identify microorganisms. Before I talk about that, we have discovered that most of you do not like our videos, you do not subscribe to our channel, you do not even share the link to your friends, to your loved ones. Some of you have even sworn that's what you never support, okay? You don't want your other colleagues to pass. Now only you will pass, okay? That thing you are doing is very wrong. Please like the video. Liking the video will make this video to be suggested to other students who are preparing for these exams, all right? Please ensure you click on that like button right now before we continue, all right? Also, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, all right? If you are watching from YouTube, click on the subscribe button. If you are watching from Facebook, click on the follow button. It's TikTok. Follow us on TikTok, all right? Also, do not forget to copy the link of the video. Share it to your class group, to your friends, to your loved ones. Let them all come and learn and succeed. All right. So also we say what? How are microorganisms identified? Okay. I want to quickly see how microorganisms are identified. Now, microorganisms can be identified by using what we call light microscope. Okay. However, it's very important to know that viruses can be studied, okay, using what we call electron microscope. All right. So that is that. This one is for virus. All right. Microorganisms can be what can be identified using what we call light microscope. Okay, but we use what electron microscope. Okay, to study what viruses. Okay, please take note of that and do not confuse them. And now stains in microorganisms. Stains. Different types of stains are used for what? For identifying different type of microorganisms. Okay, different stains is called stains. All right, different types of stains are used for what? For identifying what? Different microorganisms. For example, we have what one we call the gram, GRAM, gram. Okay, we have what the gram stain. All right, this gram stain divides what the microorganism into positive gram and what? And negative gram. All right. So I say that what different types of what stains are used for what? For identifying different type of what? Microorganisms. All right. I will say that a common example of what of those stains is what's called what? Gram stain. And what does gram stain do? It divides the microorganism, okay, or the bacteria into what now? Gram positive, and what? And gram negative what? Bacteria. All right. So that is that about what gram stains. And also to know that microorganisms are not found in air per se. The air is not sterile. The air that you see, okay, is not what sterile. That is AIR. It is not sterile. Okay, so it contains what? Dust particles. Okay, contains what? Water droplets. Okay, and they carry what? A lot of what? Microorganisms. Okay, so the air, which contains what? Dust, water droplets, aerosols, carries a lot of what? Microorganisms. So let us see some of these microorganisms that are carried by what? By air. All right. Now, common microorganisms that are found in the air, number one, are viruses. Okay, we have viruses. Okay, example is what's common cold virus. The common cold virus. Okay, it's an example of what? Of a virus that is carried, all right, by what? By air. Okay, all those dust particles that are common in the air. The common cold virus. Also, we have some bacteria. We have bacteria. For example, we have what we call pneumococci. We have what? Staphylococci. They also have streptococci. Okay, all of these are examples of what? Of bacteria, okay, that are carried by what? By the air. We have what? The pneumococci. We have the staphylococci. They also have what? The streptococci. Then apart from these bacteria, we also have what? Fungi. Okay, fungi. Example is penicillium. Okay, penicillium. Okay, we have what? Also have aspergillus. They also have rhizopus. Okay, rhizopus nigricans. Okay, so all of these are examples of fungi that are present in the air. All right, so the air is, like we said, is not what sterile. It contains what viruses that are carried by dust particles, by water droplets and aerosols, all right? Viruses, bacteria, and what are fungi. These are just what examples, okay, that are present in the air, that are carried by dust particles. Then likewise, we also have what some microorganisms that are present in water. Ones that are present in water, all right? So, but all those microorganisms that are present in water, they are generally known as planktons. Planktons, all right? So, some of them have some bacteria. We have some bacteria, all right? Example, one of those bacteria is Azotobacter. Azotobacter is one. We also have Thiobacillus. Okay, Thiobacillus. Okay, we have what Sarcina, all right? All of these are what? They are bacteria that are what? Found in water, okay? So we say that generally microorganisms that are found in water are known as what? Planktons, okay? Examples are what? Those bacteria. The Azotobacter is one. The Thiobacillus is another. They also have the Sarcina. They also have what? Fungi. Blue-green algae. Blue-green algae, okay? And examples of all these blue-green algae are what we call oscillatoria. Okay, we have nostoc. We have what? Anebina. All right, all of these are examples of what? Of blue-green algae that are present, okay, in what? In water. We also have protists. Okay, examples are Chlamydomonas. Okay, we also have one called chlorella. All right, all these are protists also that are found in water. We also have algae, e.g. Spirogyra and Volvox. Okay, Spirogyra and Volvox. Okay, they are found in water also. And then we have fungi. Fungi, okay. Example are mildew and molds, okay. So all of these are found in water. Like you say, generally they are called planktons. There are some bacteria that are found there, such as Azotobacter, Thiobacillus, and Sarcina. Then we have blue-green algae. Those are oscillatoria, nostoc, and Anebina. They also have protists, Chlamydomonas, chlorella. You have algae, Spirogyra, and Volvox. We also have fungi, okay, which include the mildew and the molds. Now, let us now go to a very, very important aspect. Now, how does microorganisms enter the body? All right. How does these microorganisms that we're discussing now, how do they enter the body? Please ensure you have liked this video and subscribe to this channel, okay? Download the O3 Schools app and start preparing, okay? So how does microorganisms enter into the body? They enter through cuts. Okay, they enter through wounds. Okay, through cut wounds. They enter through abrasions. They enter through the mouth and esophagus. Okay, they also enter through direct contact with them. Okay, so these are some of the ways that microorganisms, okay, enter into the body: through cuts, through wounds, through abrasions, through the mouth and esophagus, and also through direct contact. These microorganisms, they are transferred by vectors, okay? They are transferred by what we call vectors, VE vectors, okay? These vectors, they are animals that carry pathogenic, they are animals that carry pathogenic microorganisms, okay? Examples of all these vectors include like cockroach. Those cockroaches I see you have fly, all right? So cockroach, okay, your fly, okay, and animals like rats, cats, and dog. Animals, also animals like rats, cats, and dogs, okay? So they are they are vectors, okay, that carry pathogenic all of these pathogenic microorganisms. Okay, also we have mosquito too. We cannot forget our good friends, the mosquitoes, my mosquitoes. So they are they are vectors and animals that carry pathogenic what microorganisms. Example are mosquitoes, cockroaches, fly. Also animals like rats, cats, and dogs. But how do they carry them? How do they carry them? There are some methods that are used for carrying all of these microorganisms. Okay, some of those methods include we have the biological method, we have the biological method, we also have the mechanical methods. Okay, so all of these vectors, they carry those microorganisms either by mechanical method or by biological method. Now let us first see the mechanical methods. So the mechanical method involves them carrying the pathogen. Okay, they carry the pathogen. Examples of pathogens that are carried like that are Salmonella typhi. Okay, so let us quickly see the mechanical method whereby vectors carry microorganism. All right, so let's say this involves carrying the pathogens on their bodies. Okay, they involve carrying the pathogens on their bodies. And examples of pathogens that are carried like this, example are the Salmonella typhi. Okay, we have the entamoeba, cytica. Also have the vibrocolare, Okay, so all of these are the example of pathogens that are carried by mechanical method. The Salmonella typhi, the entamoeba cytocytica, the vibrocolare. All right, then we now have the biological method now. Okay, biological method. So in this biological method, the vectors have to be infected. Okay, they get infected by sucking the blood. Okay, by feeding on the blood of that vector. All right, so that's the biological method. So we say that in this method, now the vector becomes infected. So the vector becomes infected by feeding on the blood of an infected person or animal. All right, so in the biological method, the vector becomes infected by feeding on the blood of an infected person or animal. Then the pathogen develops and multiplies. The pathogen develops and multiplies. Okay, in the body of the vector. All right, example of this is the fly. Okay, fly. Okay, so if I feeds on the blood of of an infected person. Okay, and then now transfers trypanosoma. This trypanosoma causes sleeping sickness in humans. Okay, so an example is is a fly, all right, which carries the trypanosoma, all right, and causes sleeping sickness in humans. All right, so now we're going to quickly look into the effect of microorganism. The effects. So when these microorganisms, like for example, feed on our blood, okay, make deposits of these pathogens, all right. What is the effect of microorganisms? Effects of microorganisms. Now, it's important to know that microorganisms also will have some importance. Okay, they have a lot of beneficial importance. That is why we study them. That's why the fact that we know that they cause diseases. Okay, they are also very, very, very useful. All right. For example, they help in improving soil fertility, and in soil nitrogen cycle, we saw a lot of microorganisms helping in the recycling of nutrients. Okay, so they help to maintain soil fertility. Number one, they help to maintain soil fertility. Okay, and also help what? And recycling nutrients. Okay, in the what? In the ecosystem. So they help what? In what? In maintaining soil fertility, as well as what? Recycling nutrients in the what? In the ecosystem. Also, the saprophytic microorganisms, number 2. Saprophytic, let me just say saprophytic microorganisms. Saprophytic microorganisms, such as what? The fungi and bacteria. They decompose sewage, okay? They help to decompose sewage. Decompose sewage into what? Harmless inorganic compounds. All right. So the saprophytic what? Microorganisms. Okay. For example, the fungi and what? And the bacteria. All right. Which are decomposers. They decompose what? Sewage into what? Harmless inorganic what? Substances. So another very, very important what? Uses. Okay. Or beneficial effects. Okay. Of what? Of microorganisms. Then number 3 also, microorganisms are important in carrying out fermentation. They are important in carrying out what? Fermentation, okay, which helps what? In preserving what? Food. All right, so they are important in carrying out fermentation. All right, which helps in what? In preserving food, which helps in preserving food. Okay, so they also help, but that's also very, very useful in the fermentation what? Process, which helps what? In preserving food, and also what? Improving the flavor and texture of food. Okay, also what? It also helps what? In improving, okay, and what? Improving the flavor and texture of food. Okay, so they are very, very useful, important in carrying out fermentation process, which helps in preserving food and improving the flavor and texture of food. They are also used in the biodegradation of what? Pollutants. Okay, so they are used in the biodegradation of pollutants. Okay, so they are also very, very useful in the biodegradation of pollutants. And very importantly, they can cause what? Diseases. Okay, they cause what? Diseases. Okay, and also cause food spoilage. Food what? Spoilage. Okay, so these are what? The effects of what? Of microorganisms. They help to maintain soil fertility and recycling nutrients. The saprophytic microorganisms such as fungi and bacteria decompose sewage into harmless inorganic compounds. They are important in carrying out fermentation process, which helps in preserving food, improving the flavor and texture of food. Also used in the word biodegradation of pollutants, and they cause what? Diseases and what? Food spoilage. So now let us quickly see some important diseases of humans, okay? Like the malaria, cholera, okay? All of these, they are important diseases of what? Of humans. So we need to what? Discuss them, all right? So please ensure you download the O3 Schools app, okay? Download it and activate it. Activate it so that I can get the full benefits, all right, of this what? Supplemental what? Videos. Okay, so now disease of what? Of humans. So number 1, we're going to begin with malaria. Now, malaria is a parasitic disease. It's a parasitic disease. Okay, that's what's carried by what we call Plasmodium species. Plasmodium what? Species. Okay, and it is transmitted, okay, by the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, so malaria is a what? A parasitic what? Disease that's carried by what's called what? Plasmodium what? Species. Okay, and of course it is now transmitted by what? By an infected, by the bite, okay, of an infected female Anopheles what mosquitoes. Okay, so now what causes this malaria? Let us see what the causative what agents. Okay, so the causative agents for this malaria include what we call Plasmodium falciparum. Number one, we have what we call the Plasmodium falciparum. Okay, this one is what is the most deadliest of all of them. Okay, Plasmodium falciparum is the most what deadliest. Okay, it can cause what we call cerebral malaria. Okay, so it's cerebral what malaria. It's a type of malaria that affects the brain. So it is what the most what deadly, okay, it affects what the brain directly, okay, and it has to be what treated what urgently. They also have another one called the Plasmodium vivax. Number two, this one is milder, the Plasmodium vivax. This one is what is common, okay, but it can relapse. Okay, it is common, but it can relapse. All right, they also have another one called the Plasmodium malariae. Okay, this one is what is very very mild. It's milder, okay, but it can carry what some chronic what infections. Okay, so also it has to be treated what quickly. They also have what the Plasmodium ovale. We also have the Plasmodium ovale. This one is rare. It's rare. It can also relapse. They also have what number 5, the one called Plasmodium let's see. This one is what isotonic rather. Isotonic. Okay, usually was carried by monkeys. Okay, it's what usually was carried by monkeys. So these are the type of what of causative agents for what for the Plasmodium what parasite. Well, Plasmodium what falciparum, well, the Plasmodium vivax, well, the Plasmodium malariae, well, the Plasmodium what ovale, well, the Plasmodium knowlesi. Now, how is this what transmitted? Like I said, it can be transmitted by the bite of an infected or female Anopheles mosquitoes. Aside from what this also, we know vividly well that it can also what be although it is rare by blood transfusion or organ transplant, or what maybe from mother to child during pregnancy. Okay, although it's not as if it's impossible, okay, but it's what is rare. Okay, so all of these other ways are what can be transmitted, rare ways that can be transmitted, but definitely the most one, okay, is through the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. So now let's quickly see the life cycle of Plasmodium. The life cycle of Plasmodium. I'm going to look at it in 2 stages. One is the mosquito stage, all right, that is the sexual cycle. Okay, that sexual cycle is called sporogony, all right. Then we'll now look at what the human stage, okay, the human stage, which is the asexual cycle. So I'm going to look at the life cycle of Plasmodium. Life cycle of what? Of Plasmodium. All right. So, like I said, we have 2 stages. We have the sexual stage, okay, which is on the mosquito. Then the asexual, okay, for in the humans. So now in the sexual stage, number 1. So let's look at the mosquito stage. Stage. Okay, this one is called sporogony. Remember that this period of sexual is the sexual cycle, okay, sexual reproduction. So what happens? Number 1 is that the mosquito injects what is called gametocytes. Mosquitoes ingest gametocytes, okay, into the blood. blood, okay? And once mosquito ingests what gametocytes, okay, the gametes, okay, into what? Into the blood, then what happens is what? Fertilization happens. It leads to what? Fertilization, all right? And once fertilization happens, and something called sporozoites, okay? Sporozoites develop. Sporozoites develop, okay? And then once the sporozoites develop, the sporozoites will migrate, all right? They will migrate to the what? To the salivary what gland, okay, of the what? Of the mosquito. The sporozoites will migrate. Sporozoites will migrate to the salivary gland. Okay, so the sporozoite what will migrate to what? To the salivary gland. So the mosquito now, all right, has what? This sporozoite in his mouth. Okay, so the first stage, which is what the sexual stage or the sexual cycle, which is called the sporogony. The mosquito will ingest the male and female gametes in the blood. Fertilization, what will happen? Sporozoite will develop. Then the sporozoite will migrate now to the what? To the salivary glands, okay, of what? Of the mosquito. Now, we now have what? The human stage. The human stage. This human stage is what? Is the sexual stage. The sexual stage. Okay, that's called what? Schizogony. Okay, we'll call this one the schizogony. Okay, this one is called what? Sporogony. This one is called what? Schizogony. Please take note of what of that. They are very, very, very important. Now, in the what? In the human stage, what happens is that what? Now the mosquito will bite the humans, abi? When mosquito come, do they just sing in your ears? No. So the mosquito bites humans, and when they bite humans, they have sporozoites in their mouth already. Okay, so they will now what? Ingest sporozoites, rather. Okay, and then what? These sporozoites will now what? Travel to the liver. Then they travel to the liver. In liver cells, they multiply. Okay, in liver cells, they multiply. Okay, let me say in liver cells, they multiply to form what is called mesoroids. Okay, in this case, okay. So, and sorry, not mesoroids, merozoites. Sorry, merozoites. They multiply to form merozoites. Okay, so now once they multiply to form merozoids, they are now released to the what? Into the bloodstream. Then they are released into the bloodstream. Now, the merozoites, they are now what? In the bloodstreams. Now that they are in the bloodstream, in the red blood cell, they will multiply again. Okay, in the red blood cells. So after here, okay, in the red blood cell, they multiply what? Again. And then they cause cell to rupture. Okay, the cause was cell what? To what? To rupture. All right, so that's why we now see what? Fever. We now begin to get what? Chills. All right, so all of this what happens what? In the human stage. Okay, the cause was cell rupture. Now, so in the mosquito stage, sporogony, all right, mosquito, they ingest the gametocytes into the blood. Fertilization happens. Sporozoites now develop. Then the sporozoites will migrate to the salivary glands. Now in the human stage, which is the sexual stage, called schizogony, mosquitoes will now bite the human, then ingest the sporozoites. Then this sporozoite will now travel to the what? To the liver. In the liver cells, they multiply to form merozoites, and then they are now released into the bloodstream. Then the red blood cells again, they will multiply again. Then they will now cause cell rupture, and they will now begin to get symptoms like fever and chills. So this is what happens in the life cycle of the plasmodium. Now, what are the symptoms? What symptoms do you see? Well, I've said fever and chills. Okay, there are some couples of other symptoms that we see. So let us just make it more elaborate. So number one, we see fever and chills, as I said, symptoms. Now, okay, number one, we get fever and chills. Okay, then also sweating is not uncommon. Okay, so we get what fever and what and chills. Then you just begin to sweat. Then also you get what headache. If you have what malaria, get what headache. You'll be tired, so you'll be fatigued, and then well, of course your body will be aching you, body aches. Okay, all of these they are not what uncommon symptoms in what for people that have malaria. Then also you'll see what nausea, then vomiting also is not uncommon. All right, then also see what uh, anemia. Okay, anemia because what the blood, okay, the blood is already what affected. All right. Then of course, in severe cases, you see that what number 5, the one we talked about before, the cerebral what malaria. All right. In some severe cases, it can even lead to what death. Okay, so these are all the symptoms. Okay, that we'll see what with the Plasmodium parasite. Okay, so those who have malaria, these are some of the symptoms you experience. Now, let us now see cholera. Let us now talk about another what common disease called what the cholera. Now, cholera on the other hand is an acute infectious what disease, okay, caused by the bacterium called what Vibrio cholerae. All right. So this Vibrio cholerae is what causes what cholera, and of course it leads to what something called severe diarrhea, where you go to shit anyhow. Okay, and so it always leads to what to dehydration. Cholera is very deadly. Okay, very deadly. All right. So now the causative agent, like we said, the word Vibrio cholerae, it's a gram negative. This Vibrio cholerae is a gram negative comma shaped what motile bacteria or bacterium. Okay, by motile means what it can move on its own. Okay, so it's a gram negative comma shaped motile bacteria. Alright, this Vibrio cholerae produces what a cholera toxin called what enterotoxin. Okay, it what produces what a cholera toxin known as what enterotoxin. This one is what responsible for what the watery stools that you see. Okay, since what causes severe diarrhea, where you go to shit anyhow, what causes is watery, severe watery stool. So what causes it is this what enterotoxin that is produced by this what bacterium Vibrio cholerae. Now, how is this transmitted? Okay, so this is transmitted mainly by the fecal oral route, by the fecal what oral route. This is the main way it is transmitted, by the fecal oral what route. Okay, those people that will go and be shitting inside river. All right, it's very, very wrong. Okay, and it's found when you do not practice good hygiene. Also, it can be transmitted. All right, dirty environment, when you live in dirty, contaminated environment, when you drink contaminated water. All right, all of these are ways that cholera can be transmitted. Now, how can we control microorganisms? Okay, how can we control of microorganisms? Okay, so there are many methods that we can use to control microorganisms. We have the physical methods, we have biological methods, we have public health control methods and the likes. Okay, let's quickly see the physical methods. Okay, number 1, let's say the physical method. This physical method involves the use of heat. Okay, we can have moist heat. Okay, like the ones we use in autoclaving. Okay, we also have the dry heat. Okay, like using oven. There are some temperature that they cannot survive. Okay, all of these are microorganisms. There are some temperature in high temperature they cannot survive. So if you use heat, all right, it will help to control them. Then also we have biological methods. Okay, let me talk about chemical methods first. Chemical methods also, for example, the use of disinfectants, infectants. Okay, example like your bleach, like your phenol, like your Lysols. Okay, like bleach, phenol, Lysols. All of these can help to what to take care of what of microorganisms. They also have what antiseptics. Antiseptics like your iodine, like your alcohol, like your iodine, alcohol, like your hydrogen peroxide, hydrogen peroxide. Okay, all of these they are what they are antiseptics. Okay, so also can what sterilize. Okay, sterilization. Okay, by using what sterilizing what agents. Okay, we use what we do sterilization by using sterilizing agent like we have what ethylene oxide gas, ethylene oxide what gas. Okay, so we can carry out what sterilization by using what this what ethylene what oxide what gas. Let's talk about what chemical what methods. Likewise, we can use what is it called preservatives. Preservatives. Okay, so you can use like your vinegar. You can use your salt. Okay, you can use sugar. Okay, you can use salt. You can use sugar. You can use vinegar. Okay, when it comes to what food, to preserve what your food. Okay, so that they do not contaminate your food. Okay, so these are just some of what the chemical method: disinfectants, bleach, phenol, Lysol, antiseptics, iodine, alcohol, hydrogen peroxide. Sterilization, use ethylene oxide gas. Preservatives, we use salt, sugar, vinegar. Now let's talk about biological methods. Okay, that one will now involve the use of antibiotics. Biological methods. Okay, so we can use what? Antibiotics. Okay, this one, there are drugs that kill bacteria. Drugs that what? That kill bacteria. Okay, example is penicillin. You know penicillin. You also know tetracycline. Okay, all those are the example of what of antibiotics that you can use. Then also you can carry out vaccination. Okay, vaccination. This one stimulates the body, stimulates the body against microbes. Okay, so you can carry out vaccination. That's why you see children are taken to what? To vaccine. Okay, to be what? To be vaccinated. All right. Usually what against what this what micro what organisms that can cause diseases and harm to them. Also have probiotics. Probiotics. This one they are beneficial microorganisms that outcompete the harmful ones. Okay, they are beneficial microorganisms that outcompete the harmful ones. Okay, they are beneficial microorganisms that what outcompete the harmful ones. All right. Then likewise, last method is the public health what method. Okay, so it's called what preventive method. Preventive method has to do with public health control. Okay, so that's what making sure that that you you practice your good sanitation. Okay, your sewage disposal is done properly. You drink safe water supply is supplied. Okay, like what safe water supply, proper sewage disposal, good sanitation, then proper washing of hands. Okay, all of these are what they are preventive methods. They are public. They have to do with public health what control. Okay, safe water supply, proper sewage disposal, good sanitation, proper washing of hands. All right. All of these, okay, are ways that what you can control microorganisms in our environment. Now, let us quickly see the structure of microorganisms. The structure. The structure of microorganisms. So now let us begin with viruses. Viruses, okay? Now, the viruses are the smallest living organisms, okay? They are the smallest living organism. I know that these viruses, they lie, they are in the boundary between living things and non-living things. They are on the boundary. They enjoy the middle, okay? They are on the boundary between living things and non-living things. And likewise, they don't possess a cellular structure. They don't possess a cellular structure, okay? And one good thing is that they can reproduce by what? By invading living cells, okay? They reproduce by invading living cells. And for this reason, that's why we say they are they are parasitic, okay? So they are parasitic. They are parasitic, which means they invade living cells, all right? It means that they are parasitic. Now, there are some viruses that affect bacteria, okay? They are known as bacteriophage. Okay? They are bacteria, they are viruses that affect bacteria, or they are also called bacteria virus. Bacterial virus, okay? So bacteriophage are also known as as bacterial virus. There are viruses that can affect bacteria. Now, the structure of a virus consists of a genetic material. Okay, the structure of virus consists of a genetic material, either we could DNA or RNA. Okay, and this genetic material is known as the core. CORE, okay? And then there's also a protective covering for this core that is known as as capsid. All right, so please take note of that. So say viruses are the structure of viruses, okay, consists of a genetic material that could be either DNA or RNA material, okay, known as the core. All right, and covering this core is the capsid. It forms a protective covering for the core. Now, let us talk about bacteria. For the bacteria occur in different sizes and shapes. Okay, bacteria, they occur in different sizes and shapes. All right. For example, we have cocci. We're talking about the bacteria now. All right. Now, for the cocci, they are circular shaped. Okay, so cocci is a bacteria, all right? But the shape of the cocci is circle. It's a circular shape. Then likewise, we have the bacilli. Okay, the bacilli is rod shaped. Okay, we have the vibrio, which is we look at it when we talk about cholera. Okay, it is comma shaped. Then we also have the streptococci. This streptococci is arranged in chains. Okay, so these are the structures of bacteria. Okay, they appear in different sizes and shapes. The cocci, which is circular shaped, the bacilli, which is rod shaped, the vibrio, which is comma shaped, and the streptococci, which is arranged in chains. Now we'll look at diseases. Okay, let us look at diseases. Please, if you have not downloaded the O3 Schools app, do that now. All right, do that now. Okay, let's look at diseases. Now, what is a disease? A disease is generally referred to as an abnormal condition in health. Okay, so when you are begin to experience that you're having cough, you're having fever, you're having, so you see that it's different from when you are your normal self. Okay, so it's generally referred to as an abnormal condition in health. Then we also have ones we call airborne diseases. Okay, these are that are transmitted by air. All right, we have airborne diseases. They also have waterborne diseases, the ones that are transmitted by drinking contaminated water. Okay, so now examples of airborne diseases that we have include the anthrax. Okay, we also have the chicken pox. we have the influenza, we have the measles, we have smallpox, tuberculosis. Okay, also have Newcastle disease. Okay, all of these, they are what? They are diseases that are transmitted by air. So we call them airborne diseases. Okay, all right. So that they are called what? Airborne diseases. The anthrax, chickenpox, influenza, smallpox, measles, tuberculosis, Newcastle disease. They also have waterborne diseases. Diseases that are transmitted by drinking contaminated water, like the cholera. Okay, examples are waterborne diseases. Okay, includes what the cholera, the typhoid. Okay, you also have what dysentery. All right, so if you have typhoid, they say you have typhoid fever because of the water you are drinking. Okay, most possibly. Okay, so try as much as possible to what, to drink what, either boiled water or very clean water. All right, so now also it is important to know that we have what, some diseases, and then we have what causes them. So let's quickly see some of these diseases and what they are causative what agents. Okay, diseases. Let me say disease is this way. Disease is this way. Then here, let's say causative agent. Okay, now let us begin with poliomyelitis. Okay, now number one, poliomyelitis. Poliomyelitis. This one is called by what? Okay, it's called by picornavirus. Okay, it's caused by picornavirus. Poliomyelitis is caused by picornavirus. All right, that's the causative agent. All right, now number two, let us talk about typhoid. Number two, typhoid. Okay, this one is called by Salmonella typhi. We talked about it. Salmonella typhi. Okay, Salmonella typhi. All right, it's what causes what? Typhoid. Okay, then also whooping cough. Whooping cough is caused by what? By a bacterium. Okay, let us look at influenza, the one we call flu. The one we call what? Flu. This one is caused by what? By a virus. All right, let's look at cholera. We'll talk about cholera. So it's caused by Vibrio cholerae. Okay, cholerae. Then we'll talk about what? Tuberculosis. Okay, this one is called by what? Mycobacterium. All right, so that's what for tuberculosis. Then number 7, let's say dysentery. Okay, dysentery also is caused by what? By a bacterium. All right, then talk about syphilis. Number 8, syphilis. Okay, this one is caused by Okay, so syphilis is caused by Treponema palladium. That's what causes syphilis. Then we have tetanus, number 9. Tetanus, okay, caused by Clostridium tetanus. Okay, then we have 10. This is sleeping sickness. Okay, this one is caused by what? By trypanosome. Okay, sleeping sickness is caused by what? By trypanosome. Then we have what? Hepatitis B. Hepatitis B. Okay, this one is caused by what? By a DNA virus. Okay, we also have malaria. This one is caused by what? By Plasmodium species. All right, we also have diphtheria. Okay, diphtheria. This one is also caused by what? By a bacterium. All right. Then of course we also have what? Some other diseases are caused by what? By virus. Okay. For example, we have what? Measles. Okay, your small pox, your chicken pox, okay, your measles, your smallpox, or chicken pox. This one they are caused by what? By virus. Then you also have yellow fever. Yellow fever. Okay, it's called by what you call arbovirus. Okay, it's called by what? Arbovirus. All right. So that is that. Okay. So these are what diseases, and these are their what? They are causative what agents. All right. Poliomyelitis, piconovirus, typhoid, Salmonella typhi, whooping cough bacterium, influenza flu virus, cholera, Vibrio cholerae. Okay, it's a bacterium. Tuberculosis, mycobacterium, dysentery, a bacterium. Syphilis, Treponema palladium, tetanus, Clostridium tetanus, sleeping sickness, trypanosome, hepatitis B, DNA virus, malaria, Plasmodium species, diphtheria, bacterium. Okay, you have smallpox, measles, smallpox, chickenpox, virus, yellow fever, virus. Also, please note that smallpox, this smallpox is what it's an airborne disease. Okay, so it cannot be controlled using what antibiotics, okay, but what by vaccination. That's why you see what the government shouting, okay, go for what? For vaccination for smallpox. Okay, so please take note, it's very, very important to, all right, smallpox, it's an airborne disease, and so cannot be what treated or curtailed using what antibiotics. Instead, you what take what vaccination. Okay, is what is taken to what to curtail smallpox. So quickly, let us look at disease vectors. All right, so we are drawing to the end, drawing close to the end of the class. Please ensure you have downloaded the app, ensure you have subscribed to the application, and also make sure you are sharing the link of this video to your friends and others. And let's look at disease vectors. All right, so what are disease vectors, or what is a disease vector? So a disease vector is any living organism that transmits infections. Okay, we call it what? Any living organism that transmits infections to humans. Okay, could be what? Animals or plants. Okay, so let us see some common vectors, and let us see what they are common disease that they transmit. Okay, so let's see vectors here, and here let us see diseases, okay, transmitted or common what diseases. Now, number one, we have what the Aedes mosquito. Aedes mosquito. Okay, this Aedes mosquito causes what? A kind of fever called yellow fever. Causes yellow fever. Also called what? The dengue fever. Okay, dengue. Okay, it causes what? Yellow fever and what? And the dengue what? Fever. Also have the farm. Correct guy. Farm. Female Anopheles what? Mosquito. Okay, you know that this one transmits what? Malaria, isn't it? Malaria. All right, they also have tsetse fly. Okay, that's what have a trypanosome, which causes what? Sleeping sickness. In what? In humans. Okay, they also have what? Black fly. Black fly causes what? River blindness. Okay, so how? River blindness. All right, they also have the cordless mosquito. Cordless what? Mosquito. Okay, this one causes what? Elephantiasis. Elephantiasis. Okay, so that's what for the cordless what? Mosquito. They also have what? House fly, which causes what? The cholera. All right, so these are what some vectors, and then these are what the common diseases. All right, Aedes mosquito, yellow fever, dengue fever, female Anopheles mosquito, malaria, tsetse fly, trypanosome causes sleeping sickness in humans, black fly, river blindness, cordless mosquito, elephantiasis, house fly, cholera. Okay, so this is where we'll close today. Okay, let's also see some other very few common diseases. Okay, what bilharzia, number one. Now, the bilharzia is also called schistomiasis. Schistomiasis, okay? It's also called snail fever. Snail fever, okay? Snail fever, all right? It is caused by schistosoma, or the one we call bilharzias. Okay, it is caused by schistosoma or what? The bilharzias. Now, the life cycle of what? Of river fluke, of what? Of a blood fluke is called blood fluke. This bilharzia, okay, is called what? Blood fluke. Okay, the life cycle involves what? Two hosts. One of the hosts is what? Is a human being. This one is what? Is the primary host. And they will now have the secondary host, which is now a water snail. Okay? Snail. This one is the secondary host, all right? So that is what the bilharzia, okay? It's also called what? Bilharzia also called what? Schistomiasis or what? Snail fever, okay? All right? And of course, it is caused by what? Schistosoma or the bilharzias. This bilharzia is called what? The blood fluke, and the life cycle involves what? Two hosts. One is what? A human being, and then the other one is what? It's a water snail. Okay, but the water snail, the secondary host, while the primary host is what? Is the human being. All right. So also let us look at onchociasis. Onchociasis. Number 2. Onchociasis. And this onchociasis is a parasitic or disease. Okay, this one is a parasitic disease. Okay, with an insect vector. The insect vector is called what? Black fly. All right? It breeds in what? Water. This black fly breeds in water, okay? Remember that what you can also call what? Onchociasis as what? As river blindness. It's also called river blindness. Okay? So onchociasis is what? Is a parasitic disease with an insect vector called what? Black fly. Okay? That breeds. It breeds in water. All right, they breed in what? In water. The disease is transmitted from one person to another through the bites. When this black fly give you bite, waiting no good. Okay, the disease is what is transmitted from what? From one person to another through what? The bite of what? Of the black fly, and then it is spread by flies that live close to what? Fast-moving rivers. It is spread by flies. That live in fast-flowing rivers, okay? And this thing can cause severe skin irritation. It causes what? Severe skin irritation. Okay, it causes what? Itching. And then it causes irreversible blindness. Once you don't blind, you no go feel reverse. Okay, so that's why we say they also call what? River blindness. Okay, it's a parasitic disease. Onchociasis is a parasitic disease with an insect vector, which is what? Black fly that breathes in water. Okay, they breathe in water, and then, like I said, they are spread by flies that live what? In fast-flowing rivers. Right? It can cause severe skin irritation, cause itching, and as well as what? Irreversible blindness. They also have anthrax. Anthrax, A-N-T-R-A-X. Please, I'm sure by now you should have the O3 Schools app on your phone, fully functional. Number 3, anthrax. Now, the anthrax affects mostly cattle, sheep, and goats. Okay, it affects what? Cattle, sheep, and goats, and it is spread by a bacterium called what? Bacillus anthracis. Okay, it is caused by what? By bacteria called what? Bacillus anthracis. It's mainly what affects what? Cattle, sheep, and what? And goats. Okay, so lastly, let us now look at dracunculiasis. Number 4, dracunculiasis. Okay, dracunculiasis. All right, and this one is an infection caused by a parasite called the guinea worm. All right, the dracunculiasis is an infection that is caused by a parasite called what? The guinea worm. All right, and a person becomes infected with dracunculiasis when he drinks what? Contaminated water. Contaminated what? Water. Okay, that's when a person gets what? Infected with what? With this dracunculiasis. When a person drinks contaminated water. And please know that what? That this dracunculiasis is a crippling parasitic disease. Cripples you. Parasitic disease. Okay, it is a crippling parasitic disease. All right, so that is why we must ensure that what you drink what safe and clean water. All right, so dracunculiasis is an infection caused by a parasite called what? The guinea worm. It's the guinea worm that causes it. Please take note. All right, and because a person gets it when a person drinks what? Contaminated what? Water. All right, now let us now go to the O3 Schools app, answer questions, and we are done with this humans and environment. These questions were called using the question search feature. Okay, so please ensure you download the O3 Schools app, activate the app so that you can get the full benefit of the application. All right, so we have 1995 number 6. We'll be done to answer this question because they have become very easy now. They say, which of the following is transmitted through mosquito bites? A say filariasis, B say typhus, C say plague, D say schistosomiasis. All right, so tell me the correct answer in the comment section. 2023, number 37. So which of the following is an example of a communicable disease? Communicable disease. A says diabetes, B says asthma, C says cancer, D says influenza. All right. So communicable diseases are those that are transmitted from one person to another. All right. So you should know which one is called a communicable disease there. All right. So now 2023, number 36. Which of the following is an example of a microorganism in action as a disease vector? A microorganism that is in action as a disease vector. A say mosquito transmitting malaria. B say bacteria causing food poisoning. C say fungi decomposing dead plant animal. D says algae producing oxygen through photosynthesis. Okay, so you should know the correct answer there. Tell me the answer in the comment section, rather. We have 2022, number 28. In which of the following plants is swollen shoot disease common? Swollen shoot disease. A say rubber, B say groundnut, C say cocoa, D say maize. Okay, swollen shoot disease. Okay, it's common in cocoa. Please take note. All right, swollen shoot disease is common in cocoa. All right, I didn't tell you that. That's why I'm not telling you that now. Swollen shoot disease is common in cocoa. Now let us see 2023, number 20. Okay, 28. Yes. Which of the following statement is true regarding a disease? They say a disease are caused only by bacterial infections. B say diseases are caused by a disruption in the normal functioning of the body. C say diseases are always inherited from parents. D say disease can be cured by a single treatment method. All right. So definitely that's among one of the simplest questions we have seen today. Now look for. All right. Okay. So just look for what questions from the O3 Schools app. Use the question search feature. Just search for diseases. Okay, click on question search, select biology as subject, search for diseases. You see many questions. All right, answer them to gain confidence on the topic that we just learned. All right, so that's where I'm going to end for today. All right, ensure you have downloaded the app, ensure you have activated it, and ensure you are diligently practicing towards success. I'm Master T, the Grand Commander of the O3 Schools Army. I'll see you in the next class when we talk about genetics, okay, variation, evolution, and the likes. See you there.